Hello, hello world.
Hello guys.
It is time to sit down on my couch. We are back on my couch here in B-Town, Brampton.
Yeah, in Brampton. And we have another trip to announce.
Yes, well the trips already happened actually. Yeah. We move fast. So we wanted to let you know what is coming up on our channel. So
yeah.
You tell us about the UK first.
So in terms of the UK, I did a project in Northern Ireland and that happened last summer. And so we're finally getting around to editing that footage. And while you were doing that, you were in?
Well, you were doing that. I was in London.
Yeah, you were in London. I was in Northern Ireland. A rare chance for us to be apart.
I know, we split up to film separately.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been sitting on that footage because it was actually for a campaign for Visit Britain and a commercial as well. But now that their stuff is live, we can actually play around with the footage. So we want to share the trip with you guys on YouTube.
And it was a really cool project. Like basically the concept was we did something different for every hour of the day.
Yes.
For 24 hours. So
that means I was running around for 24 hours in London showing you guys 24 activities. So yeah, that'll be coming up soon.
It was definitely a fun project. Not a lot of sleep though for both of us.
No.
It was really busy. And yeah, the big trip that we want to announce is that we've been doing an annual trip with my parents. So the first time we went to Southeast Asia with them, then we went to South America, last year was India, and this year we are taking them to Europe for the first time. So that means we're heading back to Europe. We've got a 10-week trip with them, covering 12 different destinations. And I gotta admit, like you said, we've already finished the trip, but we can give you kind of a sneak peek.
Taster of what's to come.
Yeah, exactly. So out of the 12 destinations, the first place we started off was in Lisbon. And what was your favorite thing there?
Eating egg tarts, pastéis de nata.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And for me, it was that, and also wandering around and jumping on and off the trolley. Yeah. So
after Lisbon, we continued over to Porto, new city for both of us. Highlight for me, drinking port wine.
Oh, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. Yeah, I remember that day so well. We all went out with my parents. And, like little cheese and like chocolate samples. Oh my gosh, that was good. And for me, it was just the classic views of the city and walking along the big bridge there. So from there, we ended up taking like a long route over to Madrid. We had a long connection through that little town. What was it called? Vigo. We had a few hiccups. We didn't really plan transport days properly, but you guys will get to see that.
We'll
get to see all that.
But eventually, we made it to Madrid.
So yeah, the highlight in Madrid for me was going back and walking through the green spaces and also showing my parents the city for the first time.
For me, it was eating churros with hot chocolate. More food. Lots of food experience.
A lot of food. Well, it's good that we're mentioning the food because we do have food vlogs coming up as well. So then we took a high-speed train from Madrid to Valencia. Again, a new city for all of us, all four of us, including my parents. We love this place. You really liked, what was it, the market?
The market. We were staying right across from the central market. Like, we could see it from our balcony, and we went there every single day. The highlight for me was the food in the market. Yeah,
it was so good. And the highlight for me was going on a bike ride with my dad. There's some really nice, again, green spaces there.
Yeah, massive parks there.
Yeah, so then we took a long bus ride over to Granada, and actually, just before we got to Granada, like, we even experienced some snow, if you guys can believe it.
Crazy.
Yeah. So what was the highlight for Granada for you?
We went to a flamenco show, which I had never done before. That was super cool. And they also had lots of Moroccan food in Granada. So I enjoyed that. Yeah,
that's true. And I mean, the Alhambra is a pretty famous place. So I loved going there. It was one of those attractions that lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
So then what we did was we ended up flying from Malaga, which is a place nearby Granada, and we flew to Rome. And the next 3 places that we visited in Italy were all new for us. So Rome was a big chaotic city. We spent almost a week there. And we saw most of the main attractions. So.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite city, I have to admit. I found it really overwhelming and traffic was just nuts.
It was nuts.
But we had really good food. We found an amazing local pizzeria.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that place?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, we made an entire pizza video.
And I guess the high... we sure did. Another one, if you guys can believe it. It's kind of embarrassing. But yeah, we did make another pizza video. And the highlight for me was wandering around at night and seeing Rome at night. So then, the cool thing about our travels in Italy is that we had high-speed trains for all of these trips. So they were a lot shorter than some of our other trips. So then we went to Florence, again, a new city for us. What did you like in Florence? Art.
Museums.
Art and museums. And my favorite thing about Florence was the one sunset I saw. it was absolutely incredible. I was by myself.
You went out on your own. Yeah,
I went out on
I
my own.
There.
I did a lot of filming on my own on this trip too, like especially at night. I did a lot more night photography than normal, and that was kind of cool. So then from Florence, we went to Venice.
Oh.
And that's where our family friend Val joined us.
So then our group became 5. It wasn't just Sam's parents anymore.
And it was great. It was a really great addition. The group dynamic was awesome with her. She's so easygoing, and yeah, we loved having her come along and join us. She joined us in our Southeast Asia trip, the very first trip we did with my parents.
Yeah, going way back.
So it was nice to have her back, kind of like a bit of a reunion. And yeah, Venice was really cool. My favorite part of being there was actually island hopping. I did so much island hopping and got to explore more than just Venice.
For me, there was a massive snowstorm that hit Venice. Like, I don't know how often the city gets snow, but it looked so pretty.
That was the beast of the east.
Beast from the east.
And yeah, normally temperatures were apparently supposed to be like highs of 10, lows of around 2 or 3. But like with this beast from the east, it got down to -12 with wind chill.
Yeah.
Like it was properly cold.
Brutal.
And it really tested our wardrobe because like we packed for sort of like, I don't know, 0-degree weather, but not like -10, -12. So we literally threw on everything we had just to survive.
We weren't very fashionable in Venice, that's for sure.
Definitely not. So then the cool thing after Venice is we took a ferry back to Croatia, kind of like vice versa, what we did last year. We ended up stopping off in Split, which was cool because we only saw it last year when we were heading into Hvar Island.
Yeah.
So it was cool to properly explore Split. My favorite thing in Split was actually some of the nature walks.
And for me, the seafood.
Yeah. And we also had an amazing burger there.
Oh yeah, with truffle mayo.
Yeah.
The food was a highlight.
We got 2 food videos coming up from there. Both of those things. So that was really, really cool. And then from there we went to Dubrovnik. And we've always wanted to go there. It's an amazing kind of city, like it's just one of those visually stunning cities.
Yes.
And we got to, it was kind of like a double-edged sword. We kind of loved and loathed it at the same time, was the fact that our apartment was so high up from the old town. We got such an amazing view, but it was really tiring having to walk up the steps.
I'm trying to remember, how many steps was it? Was it like 400 and something?
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was something ridiculous, and we had to do that every time we wanted to go into the town, but the views were unforgettable.
And I think the highlight for both of us was walking along the wall.
Yes.
Yeah. That is the one must thing you have to do in Dubrovnik. That we can totally agree on. And then from there, we ended up flying to Athens in Greece. And this was a return trip for us. It was our parents' first time to visit. We had, like, you'll see what's going to come up in the video. We had kind of, like, mixed things happen to us in Athens. I'm not going to say anything beyond that. I'm not going to say anything beyond that.
Maybe we should. What happened in Athens? Tell the world.
Okay, I guess I will. Well, yeah.
Briefly.
Briefly, there was, like, one of us got robbed.
Yes.
And so you'll find out
on the metro.
You'll find out who. One of the 5 of us. That's all we're going to say.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
But highlights. What was good about Athens?
The highlights for me was just all the different vantage points. Getting some really good photography and video. That was a real highlight for me. And I think, like, you enjoyed the street food that we had.
Street food and the ruins.
Yeah, the ruins and the Euros and the street food. There was a lot of cool stuff. And then we finished things off. We took a ferry over to Santorini Island. Final destination. And it was just the perfect way to finish off. Like, when we first arrived in Santorini, we were a little worried, like, is there going to be enough to actually do here? And it ended up being, like, there was literally something to do every day. And
so much hiking on the island. I never knew about that. I thought it was just, like, luxury hotels and you just walk through these pretty white towns. But there's so much hiking to do all over.
So much more, and in fact, that was our favorite thing. Basically getting outdoors and doing adventure types of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was, basically, that is the 12 destination, 10-week trip we did with my parents. I think it's going to be a really fun series. It's going to be nice because my dad makes a lot of appearances in this. And I think you'll find his quirky personality quite funny. He certainly kept us laughing on this trip. It was just a really great trip. We really appreciate the opportunity to travel with our family. And it was awesome. And so please come and join us for this Euro trip adventure that we have.
All right. It's coming.
It's coming soon.
Bye.
Bye.